Hi guys, Moin away from back here again as always, and as usual. I'm briefly going to read a girl by the name of Nikki Catsouras and the circumstances regarding her death. Now, long story short, Nikki Katsouras was a girl in the US that, if I'm not mistaken, California. Either way, she's from the US. She bluntly put stole her father's car. She got involved in a brutal accident, and there were pictures, I think, allegedly taken by law enforcement and then spread across the internet. And her death is one of the most brutal deaths in terms of car crashes that you'll ever see, at least relatively speaking. So I simply wanted to show people what the natal chart of someone like that looks like. Now, before I continue, you can find a neat video linked in the description of this video where you can see everything about the case. The video is really interesting, and I repeat, I heavily recommend watching the video first, honestly, and then coming back to watch this video. But it's up to you, obviously. I mean, if you want to do the opposite, it's all on you. But definitely watch the video, regardless of when you watch it, so that you'll really see what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot. The only things that really matter is the astrological house that deals with death. This is the constellation under which she was born. The eighth house deals with death, and you can see immediately there is a lot of activity there. The eighth house being ruled by Pisces. You've got Saturn, the Sun, and Neptune all in Pisces. So we're going to simply exclude the North Node for convenience's sake. And Venus is there lastly. Venus is in Aries going retrograde. And another thing that needs pointing out is the fact that the moon, being in Scorpio in the fourth house, is heavily aspected the eighth house. The moon is trine everything in this house with the exclusion of with the exclusion of Venus. And even then, it's only by a whisker, by less than half a degree, so less than 30 minutes. Now, all of this, everything I've said, the moon being in Scorpio, Saturn being in Pisces, the sun being in Pisces, and Neptune being in Pisces, stands for how reckless she was and that she was someone that took a lot of risks. And it was also influenced, at least in part, or generally speaking, in part by friends, like think a boyfriend or a girlfriend or anything like that, like a romantic partner or a BFF style of person. That's what Juno in Sagittarius stands for here. Um, and it's also possible that that person is generally speaking of foreign descent compared to her. See, that's why the moon is next to Juno and conjunct. It's aspected to Juno. Um, and yeah, again, the rest supports it. All of the heavy Piscean influence you're seeing here stands for things that Pisces stands for in general, but in a negative way. Think not literally deceitfulness, but being sneaky and underhanded, and so on and so forth. So, based on what I said in the beginning of this video, her stealing her father's car, not asking him normally, her stealing her father's car, and then pushing the pedal to the metal, going like 100 or more miles an hour, it speaks for itself. That's what you're seeing. Everything you're seeing here stands for that. The destructive, reckless, and thingy, borderline deceitful behavior, but not literally deceitful, underhanded. Let's just put it that way. Now, last but not least, conditions and circumstances, specifically in the way that she died, that's where Venus comes in. Venus is in the weakest sign it can be in, going retrograde in one of the weakest houses it can be in. It is, by all means and accounts, in the weakest house it can be in. Remember, Mars rules the first and the eighth house, the house that Aries governs and Scorpio governs, and Mars opposes Venus. So Venus is at its weakest in this house and in this house, and it's obviously here. Again, if that wasn't enough, Venus is also going retrograde. So Venus is ultra afflicted. Think on a scale of 0 to 10, 21, 22. And that's what it means in terms of how she died. Believe me, watch the video and you will see. I am warning viewers, it's not if you're sensitive, because you will not want to see what she looked like when they found her, in a manner of speaking strictly. In actuality, those of you that are watching this and are really interested, oh boy, you'll want to see it. But just remember what I said. Venus already gives you an indicator, as in, okay, that was the exact opposite of graceful. Her death was anything but graceful. The exact opposite times 10,000, honestly, bluntly put. It simply means that she died in a brutal manner and under gruesomest conditions. That's all. Bye bye.